See, you go right into the character. That's what it is.
I'm bringing families together a half an hour each week. Man, I'm doing something special.
And so I do feel successful.
Isn't that great? Hey folks, sometimes we have underachievers on the show, and today's one of those shows, and unfortunately I'm going to introduce her right now. Right? Okay? Autumn DeForest is an 11-year-old artist prodigy. I am joking. You are anything but an underachiever. Can I tell some folks some things about you?
Sure.
You began painting at the age of 5 in your garage. At the age of 7, Autumn sold her first painting for over $1,000. At the age of 8, her first auction, Autumn sold over $100,000 worth of paintings in 16 minutes and signed a worldwide publishing and management agreement. In her 9th year, Autumn signed a worldwide licensing agreement and continued to sell an overwhelming amount of artwork, totaling over $400,000. Collectors of Picasso, Andy Warhol also own works of Autumn. Now, at the ripe old age of 11, Autumn is homeschooled, and her family live in Las Vegas. She flew in today to do the show, and she is featured as a child genius special on the Discovery Channel. How you doing?
Great.
Too bad you don't do that much. How are you? You look great.
Thank you.
And your artwork is very special.
Thank you very much.
And you honor us by being with us. Let's go back. You're 5 years old.
Yes.
You're out in the garage.
Yes.
And what are you doing?
Well, one day I skipped out in the garage and I asked my father if he was staining some wood, and I asked him if I could mess around, and he said sure. And I just picked up some wood and some of the paint, and I started, and I loved it so much, and experimenting with bold gestures and all different kinds of abstract ideas. And then when I started doing more paintings, and I loved it so much, and I realized I want to change the world for the better through painting and inspire others that painting is fantastic.
You want to change the world?
Yes, I want to change the world for the better. They're taking art out of schools, and I think
art education.
Art
You're
education.
a big fan of art education, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, I think it's incredibly important, and I think that as math and reading is important, art is incredibly important, and I think when you do art, your mind is just exploring so many ideas, and you're using your mind to create, and I think that can change the world. Do
you mind if we look at some of your artwork?
Sure.
Hey, Bob, Bob Morris is an artist. You may not realize that, but he's a director. He's a great artist. At 5, he was in his garage making film. What are we looking at first? You have to talk us through this. This is American Graphic?
Yes, American Graphic. I loved Grant Wood, and I thought with his painting, I was so inspired when I looked into an art book and I saw it. And I thought, how interesting would it be to experiment with a crayon in the place of a pitchfork? And I put it out on the canvas, and I realized, wow, that is what I was inspired by, and that's what I put down, and I loved that. I loved how I just took an idea from a very famous artist and twisted it into my personality.
You're inspired a lot. What's the next one? Barbie Marilyn.
Yes.
Talk about that.
I was inspired by Andy Warhol, yes, and my grandmother gave me a Barbie doll of Marilyn Monroe from 7 Year Itch, and I said, wow.
From the movie 7 Year Itch?
Yes, from the movie 7 Year Itch, the model, Marilyn Monroe. And I loved it so much, and I thought, how interesting would it be to take the idea of Andy Warhol painting Marilyn Monroe and mix those two ideas.
Your brain, your mind is rich with a lot of inspiration. What do we have now? This is self-portrait? I'm dying to see this one. Self-portrait.
Autumn Rose.
Autumn Rose, go ahead.
I was at the park once, and I was my father and my mother was taking pictures, and I was looking at a flower once, and they took a picture of me looking at the flower, and the flower's not in the picture, but they got my face. And when I was skipping through pictures, I saw that, and I loved it, and it inspired me to do a painting.
Your parents have been very supportive of you.
Yes, very supportive.
From day one?
Yes. They have gotten paints and paintings for me to experiment with.
By the way, before we show the next painting, how important is it to you that your paintings sell and sell for a lot of money? Because they do.
I feel as though it's important to have a piece of my imagination in a person's home. I'm not the money girl. I want to inspire others, and I want to have my painting in their home because it spoke to them, and I want them to have that joy.
You may not be the money girl, as you say, but you're raising money through your artwork, and you've helped several relief efforts in Haiti,
Yes.
in Japan, and most recently, Hurricane Sandy.
Yes, I have done a painting. In July, I'm going to do a show in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, and I'm going to be unveiling a painting for Sandy. It's going to be huge, and when I sell it, all the money will be going to the families who lost so much in that terrible disaster, and it is of two women holding hands from the New York flag and the New Jersey flag, because there's two women on each side in each flag, and they're holding their hands.
And you've all told our producers that you feel that every child should be able to have Christmas.
Yes, yes. A lot of kids didn't have Christmas because of Hurricane Sandy. They lost their homes, and they lost their toys, and I think that every child should celebrate the life of Christmas.
Ready for another one?
Sure.
Which one is this one? Einstein. Talk about it.
Well,
Why does that get a laugh out of you?
well, he's spitting his tongue. I mean,
Einstein sticking his tongue out. What inspired you to come up with that?
well, I mean, come on, it's the classic. He's such a smart mind and so serious, and invented so many ways to look at math, and now he's sticking his tongue out, and now he's being silly, and I thought, how
Is he
funny.
making fun of us?
No.
Right behind you. Could we do the, you have an order. Could we do the Las Vegas is one of them? Do your hometown, Las Vegas. Let's do Las Vegas. Go ahead. Talk about Las Vegas. Wow. Love it.
Electric Cowboy, that's the name. I did a deal with THQ. It's a video game company, huge video game company. I loved, they have a product named Udraw, and I did that on Udraw. But I thought after I did that, I loved it so much that I thought, how about do a painting for it?
Well, there's one that I want to show over here. It's Dripping Summer. Could you do Dripping Summer? It happens to be, you may not be able to pick it up on the television screen, but it's actually over Autumn's shoulder right here in the studio, the actual painting. And so the texture of it is hard to pick up. Dripping Summer, describe it.
Last year I did a show in Stone Harbor, and I loved it so much because I almost named this painting Anticipation. And because right over that ridge is the ocean. You can smell the sea salt, you can hear the crashing waves, and I thought, how interesting would it be to paint, to catch that image, and each dripping ball represents somebody's fantastic memories at the beach, and every blade of grass represents everyone who's been to the beach, and I had so much fun there. I decided to paint that memory. Shifting
gears dramatically from the Jersey Shore to Times Square.
Yes.
You have a piece called Times Square. Talk about it.
When I did the Today Show and I went to New York a couple years ago, they shut down.
Guys, could we show? There it is.
They shut down Times Square for the BBC to do a segment with me, and they.
Wow, there it is.
They did a shot of my mother and I. That's the if you can see it.
Twice as big as you are.
Yes. My mother and I are holding hands walking down Times Square, and they did a shot of us doing that, and I saw it and I thought, wow, what a fantastic painting. And I had to actually put that painting on the ground to paint it, and my father built me a bridge and he put that over the painting so I could reach the middle.
Before I let you out of here, I'm going to ask you this. I don't know if you know this for sure. Do you think that you were born with this special gift?
I think God gave me this special gift, and I want to help people and inspire people with my gift. And I feel as though when you take something that you love and you make it big and make it to help people, I think that's fantastic. And I think that I want every kid to have the opportunity to sit down with a canvas or a piece of paper with paint or watercolors or crayons and be able to express themselves.
We think you're terrific.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you coming all the way in from Las Vegas.
Thank you.
And sharing your art and sharing yourself with us.
Thank you.
Okay?
All right.
Wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thanks. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you very much.